Hey guys, Merry Christmas. Welcome to our big Kingdom Kids kickoff for our kids musical. We're so excited that you're here and that you're a part of this very special Christmas musical, unlike anything we've ever done before. Now let me say really quickly, next spring, starting in January, our hope is that we'll begin practicing again on Safe in His Arms, the musical we didn't do in the spring. So whatever part you had then, you will still have now. And we'll just begin practicing it again. Sunday nights in January, we'll move back to practicing on location. So we'll start practicing on campus Sunday nights then. So that'll kind of be back to normal. But this year, for this kids' Christmas musical, it'll be a little different. So let me tell you, first of all, what is not happening and what this musical is not. We will not have any practices on campus, so no Sunday night practices. There's not going to be any dress rehearsal either, and that's because there's actually not going to be any performance. It is all going to be done over video. And so let me explain what the video is going to look like. Our video, our Kingdom Kids Christmas special, is going to premiere on Saturday, December the 12th. It'll go live online through our YouTube channel, our church website, Facebook, kind of everywhere that you can kind of watch our stuff. And so that night, it'll go and everyone can watch it. So that means you'll be able to sit with your family by the Christmas tree, pop a big bowl of popcorn and get some hot chocolate and curl up and for the first time ever, watch yourself perform in the premiere of our new Kingdom Kids musical. Now, the way that we're going to do that is that we're going to spend this whole kind of fall filming and preparing for this video. I'll kind of be doing a lot of editing and putting it all together. And so when you see it, it'll actually be the first time that you'll get to sit down and watch the whole thing, which will be kind of special. Even though you will have been helping prepare it, you won't see the final thing until that night. So I think that'll be really special. But the whole Christmas special is going to be made up of about 12 to 15 different little segments, little tiny videos that'll be each very different. So it's not one big story like we normally would do. It's a lot of different things. And so every few minutes it'll change to a different thing. So we'll have some songs, we'll have some skits, we'll have some drama kind of stuff. And each thing will be very different. And you will be the ones that are going to be a part of all of this. So we're really excited about that. Now, let me tell you about some of the little pieces that'll be a part of it and how you can start getting ready for them. First of all, we're going to be performing about 3 or 4 songs that'll be a part of this. Now, the way that you're going to perform them is, first of all, right now on our YouTube channel for the church, there is a Kingdom Kids playlist, and I've got 3 videos up there right now. You can go ahead and start learning. 2 of them I made. They're kind of new songs that we'll be singing, and all the lyrics are on the video, so you don't have to have a booklet or anything. You can just watch the video and sing along. The 3rd one is a song that's kind of brand new, but it was made by someone else, and it has hand motions. It's the same girl that does the hand motions in our kids' church videos when we sing songs. Each one of these songs, you're going to begin to learn those songs and practice them. You can start practicing now. So a lot of the rehearsal is going to be you at home watching the videos and singing along, learning the words, and then also learning the hand motions to one song. And then later on in the year, you will videotape yourself singing the songs, and we will edit them together. I'll give you more instructions on how to do that and help you through that, but it's going to look a little bit like what our church choir has done in the past. Here's a little tiny clip of what our church choir has done so you can kind of see what it's going to look like a little bit.
You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes.
So that's one thing that we've done in the past. It's not going to be exactly like that because honestly, I think with our Kingdom Kids, it's going to be a lot more fun and a lot of really kind of cool things. But that's a little bit of what it will look like. Let me tell you about each of the 3 songs, and I go more into depth in this on each of our Kingdom Kids videos that we have on our YouTube channel. Each song has a video where I explain the song, and then you can go and watch the song. So you'll see me explain it in one video, and then you'll learn it in the next video. And that'll happen for all 3 of them. The first one is going to be a song that we're learning that's called Marvelous Light. And it's about how Jesus is the light of the world. And it's going to come right after this little segment that I wrote where one kid is going to be doing what's called a monologue. A monologue is when one person talks. There's not a conversation. They're just kind of talking to themselves or to the audience. And it's going to be a kid who's going to be talking about how much they love Christmas lights. And they love candles, and you won't actually see them. Instead, you'll be seeing video clips of Christmas lights and candles decorated in homes and on trees and in big cities and all over the world. And they're talking about how much they love light because light shines in the darkness and it makes them feel warm and safe. And maybe that's why Jesus is called the light of the world, because he came to fight away the darkness. And it talks about how we don't have to be afraid in the darkness of this world, because in the darkness of this world, the darker the night, the brighter the light. It's just like how when your Christmas tree is on and it's beautiful, but when you turn all the lights off except for the Christmas tree, it shines even brighter. And that's how we are to be as Christians. We are to be a bright light in the middle of a dark world. And then it goes into the song, Marvelous Light, that each one of you are going to be singing. And the way we're going to do this is that we're going to give each one of you a candle to hold on to. It'll have a little plastic holder so you don't get any wax or anything on you. But you're going to hold it and you're going to sing this song. It's a really simple and sweet song. It says, Jesus is the light of the world. And you record it, and it'll be like kind of like a candlelight service like we have at Christmas Eve at our church. It'll be really pretty. That's one song. The next song is a really kind of fun and wild song called Why Can't It Be Christmas Time All Year? And I know you are going to love this song. I have listened to the song 1,000 times. I cannot stop listening to it, and it's August. I broke the rule, and I've already been listening to Christmas music, but you kind of have to make a kids musical. So you're going to love this song. The way this song is going to work is that it's going to have all of you singing at your house. You'll put the video up and you'll sing wearing like Christmas pajamas or like Christmas sweaters or Santa hats. Everyone's just going to be kind of like in bright colors. You can do this in front of your Christmas tree. And also you can even get your family involved in singing along. It's just going to be kind of like a wild, wacky, just really fun Christmas song that's going to wrap up the whole kids musical. So this will be our last song, and it's just kind of like a really, really fun song, and I think you're going to love listening to it and singing it, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it in my little intro video that you can watch after this. The third song that we're going to learn is called To Us a Child is Born, and it comes right out of the book of Isaiah. One thing that we're going to be doing that's kind of like the big, kind of like serious kind of moment in the musical is going to be at the end, where each one of you are going to help recite part of the book of Isaiah. You know, the book of Isaiah is in the Old Testament. He was a prophet, and he prophesied a lot of things that would come true with Jesus. We get the idea that for unto us a child is born and a son is given, and his name will be Emmanuel, God with us. That came from the book of Isaiah. But he didn't just tell us that Jesus would be born, he also told us that he would come to die as well. And so in this book of Isaiah, it starts off with a kid saying, these are the words of the prophet Isaiah. And they begin to talk about how he will come and how he came, and in darkness a light has shone. But then we're not going to end with the birth of Jesus. We're going to keep going into how he was crucified and killed for us, and how ultimately God has glorified him. And it's going to be a really powerful thing of kids just quoting the book of Isaiah. So each one of you would say like a little sentence, like a little short thing. I made a quick version with my girls just to see how it looked. And so here is like 30 seconds of kind of what it's going to look like. Check this out.
For unto us a child is born, to us a son is given,
and the government shall be upon his shoulders.
and his name shall be called Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace.
And the increase of his government and of peace,
There will be no end,
on the throne of David and over his kingdom,
with justice,
from this time forth.
and forevermore.
Right after that's done, and we do the whole kind of part of the Isaiah, it'll be about 5 minutes of just verse after verse after verse, and each one of you will memorize just a little segment of it, but put together, it'll be a lot of Isaiah. It'll go into the song, To Us a Child is Born. Now, this song is the only one we're doing that has hand motions, so you want to learn those when you're as well. And when you do that, it's going to be a video of all the kids singing, and everyone's doing their hand motions at the same time, and I think it's going to look really, really cool. This will kind of wrap up the musical before we kind of go to the fun little song at the very end. So those are 3 songs, so you can start learning those right now. So after this video is over, start watching the other videos. Again, there's an intro video where I explain the song, and then you will kind of learn the song as well. Now, let me tell you about a couple other things. One of the things that we're going to do is a handbell choir. I don't know if you remember this. Last year at our Thanksgiving dinner service at our church, me and all the other pastors, we had handbells where we played a song, and we did the thong. Well, I've got handbells just for kids. Let me get them real quick. Doesn't that sound nice? So this is what they look like. But the cool thing is that you can play them this way. And I got other notes. This one's a yellow note. Isn't that lovely? That's a chord. Now, Here's what's going to happen. I've got 15 bells because there's 15 notes in the song Carol of the Bells. And the way it's going to work is this. We're going to give one bell to 15 kids, and all you're going to do is you're going to get a video of yourself, and in the video, you're just going to set it down, and you're going to ring it, and that's all you have to do. Then I'm going to take all the different bells, all 15 videos of you ringing each note. So one of you will be the D, one of you will be the E, oh that's a good note, and one of you will be the B. And so you'll play your note, send the video back to me, and then I'm going to edit it together, and I'm going to edit it into our Kingdom Kids playing Carol of the Bells, like bum ba da dun 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 bum ba da. That's not it. I'll learn it by then. Anyway, but it's going to be really cool. And the cool thing is that you don't actually have to practice. All you got to do one time is that. So at the video, the final product will be really, really cool. And it'll look like our kids have practiced for years on this incredible kids choir handbell. But that won't be the case. So I think it's going to be really, really fun. Another thing, and this is really, really, really cool, and I'm really excited about this. A lot of times, you guys have given me ideas for Kingdom Kids Christmas musicals. Now, some of your ideas have been great. I actually used, AJ had an idea one time that led to our musical To Find a King. Some of your ideas are really fun and wonderful, but they just would not make Kingdom Kids musicals. We want our Kingdom Kids musicals not just to be about Christmas, we want it to really teach us something about the Lord. And it really kind of has to be more than just fun Christmas. It can certainly be fun, but we want it to be a little bit more serious and have kind of a message. But you guys have given me so many ideas, I want to find a way to use them. So here's what we're going to do. One segment is going to be stories, Christmas stories, written by Kingdom Kids. So here's what I want you to do. If you like writing stories, I want you to write a Christmas story. It could be about anything. It doesn't have to be serious. It could be really funny. It could be kind of crazy. But write a Christmas story. Now make it longer. Maybe don't make it like 3 sentences, but make it a little bit longer. And if we really like it, now we won't be able to use every single Christmas story, but we will take our favorites and we will put them into our Kingdom Kids Christmas special. And either you, or if someone else maybe is not good at writing a story, but is really good at drawing, they can illustrate your story. And so we'll have someone read the story, maybe someone with like a professional reading voice, or maybe we'll just use a kid's voice. And then we'll hear the story told while we also see the illustrations kind of being shown at the same time. So it'll be a really fun way of getting a bunch of like kind of crazy Kingdom Kids ideas in our kids musical that we normally couldn't use, but this year we get to. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. So if you got a Kingdom Kids, an idea for a story, it doesn't even have to be involved Kingdom Kids, just an idea for a Christmas story. Write your Christmas story. It could be about a bunny that I don't know, that makes a Christmas present for its mother out of twigs. I don't know. It could be anything. It could be about an elf that gets lost in a box and gets wrapped and gets delivered. I don't know. It's just something kind of crazy. Maybe it could be about like a baby that crawls into Santa's sack and actually gets taken to the North Pole and thinks he's an elf, but he's actually a grown man with curly hair, and he goes to New York to find his parents. And wait, no, that sounds very familiar. Anyway, don't do that one. Do a different one. But come up with a fun story and then tell us what it is. So you can type it up if you're parents, or if you want to write it, you can. But you can send it in to me, and we'll take all the best ones and we'll say, all right, this one's going to work. Let's get some pictures. You can draw the pictures, or maybe a friend can, and we'll work together, and it'll be kind of really fun, a fun thing. I want to talk about another kind of video that we're going to do. We're going to act out the Christmas story, and we're going to shoot it like a movie. Now, if you've ever been in kids' church, sometimes you've seen videos that we've shown of kids acting out Bible stories. It looks a little something like this. This was one that we looked at when Jesus was teaching in the temple. Here's a little peek of what it looks like.
Jesus went to the town of Nazareth, where he had lived when he was a boy. Now Jesus was grown.
So that's what the video is going to look like. And so what we're going to do is we're going to shoot, not that, but we're going to shoot the Christmas story. And we're going to do it in a very kind of like cinematic, that means a movie-like kind of way. One kid is going to be reading Luke chapter 2, the Christmas story. And, you know, in those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And then you'll see it actually happening, acted out. So kids will be dressed up in Bible costumes, Mary and Joseph and angels and all of that. And it'll be like a really kind of special way of showing the Christmas story. So that's another video that we're going to do. I want to talk about another video. There's something called a documentary. And a documentary is when you kind of shoot video of something that's really happening. It's not acted out. It's actually really happening. And we're going to do a couple little documentaries on Christmas traditions. So here's what I want you to do. If you have a family tradition that you do at Christmas, it might be going to get a Christmas tree, or it might be making cookies, or it might be going Christmas caroling to your neighbors. I don't know, just a tradition that's very special to you and to your family. We want to take maybe 2 or 3 of them, and we want to shoot a little video of it. So what'll happen is I'll come and I'll interview you, or you'll talk about why, or first of all, what your tradition is, why it's so special, how it got started, and then also shooting video of you doing that tradition. So you might talk about how every year grandma comes over and we have like cookies. We make cookies. And it began when my mom was a little girl and she did it with her grandmother, and we've been doing it for all the years. And I'll videotape you guys making the cookies, and it'll be kind of a really fun and kind of sweet way of getting to see what you do at your family, which is such a fun part of Christmas. What families do in traditions is such a special thing, and we want to kind of show that in our kids' musical. And one other video that we're going to do is going to be like a short movie. It's going to be like a 5-minute movie, and it's called Waiting on Snow, or we might change that. But the story is, it starts out with a shot of someone's front steps, and you hear a door open up, like a screen door, and a kid walking down, and he sits down, and he's all bundled up in his winter coat, and he's got on like a red little knit cap and a red scarf, and he has a watch, and he keeps looking at his watch and looking up at the sky, and he keeps waiting and waiting, and you don't know what he's waiting on. And then his brother or sister comes around and is like, "You don't actually think it's going to snow, do you?" And the little kid's like, "Well, the weatherman said between 2 and 3, there's a 25% chance of flurries." And the kid's like, "That means it's not going to happen." And he's like, "Well, you don't know that." And so his brother says like, "Psh, whatever," and he walks off. And so the kid's going to be sitting on the step, and he waits, and he waits, and all of a sudden his alarm beep beep goes off, and he looks and it's 2 o'clock, and he's like, "Oh please, oh please, oh please," and he looks, and there's no snow. And so he's now sitting on the step, and then it kind of wipes, and the camera kind of fades to him sitting in another position and in another position. So you kind of see all this time going by to where he's now fallen asleep on the steps waiting for the snow. And then it gets in real close, and you see he's asleep and his eyes are closed, and then you see little snowflakes begin to fall on his face, and his eyes pop open. And he sits up, and now it is actually snowing, and he can't believe it. And he like looks around, and he scrapes up enough snow, and he makes a snowball in his hand. And right as he does that, around the corner of his house come all of these kids holding snowballs, and you realize a giant neighborhood snowball fight has just broken out. And they chase him around the side of the house, and he's wearing like a red scarf and a red hat, and he runs around, and there's a bunch of kids standing there with snowballs, and they're all wearing like blue hats and blue scarves. And they start throwing it at him, and then you realize there's like a red team and a blue team, and then it just kind of gets crazy. Like kids have built like cardboard armor and painted it blue and red. Some kids are bringing out giant slingshots for snowballs to be shot, and it turns into this like, and it'll all be done in like really epic slow motion with like really intense music, and it's like kids are like diving and throwing snowballs and all this kind of stuff. And then you, the kid who it starts out with like gets hit like maybe in the face with a snowball, and he falls down, and you hear a voice of a lady calling his name, but you don't know where it's coming from. And then it cuts back to the kid asleep on the steps, and you realize that he's been dreaming the whole time, and his mom is waking him up, and she's like, "Hey buddy, it's time to go in. You fell asleep out here. Come on in, I've got some hot chocolate for you." And he sits up and realizes it was all a dream, and he's so sad. And then they walk back up into the house, and it ends, but it begins to play the song White Christmas, and after a second, all of a sudden, snow starts to fall down, and it actually is now snowing. And that's kind of how it wraps up. So it'll be kind of a fun little short movie that we'll have that'll be a part of it. There's a lot of other little things that we'll kind of tell you about as well. We're going to do one video where we're going to do the 12 days of Christmas, but we're still kind of coming up with those ideas. But that gives you an idea of what we're going to be doing and how you can be involved. So there's a couple things we want you to do. First of all, I want you to go ahead and watch the other videos on our YouTube channel. Watch the videos and start learning the songs. Start practicing. You can have your own Kingdom Kids rehearsal. You can do it at home. You can sit on a stool and say, "Quiet, kids, sing," just like me. And you can try to get your little brothers and sisters motivated to sing by giving them scooters. That's what I do. But you'll get them to sing and practice your songs. Also, if you want to write a Christmas story, start writing it. Work on it real hard. And if you need some help, just let me know. We can help work with you on how to make this story really great. And then we'll move into illustrating it. Also, if you've got a family tradition that you have that you think would be really great to videotape, just let us know. Also, we sent out a survey to your mom and dad that they can fill out that lets us know kind of how involved that you and your family can be. And so make sure you tell your mom or dad, hey, make sure you fill out that survey. Jonathan needs to know what we're in for. So anyway, we're super excited about this kids musical. We can't wait to be a part of it, and we hope you'll join us. And we'll see you for our performance on December 12th. I'll give you more information as the weeks go on about what you should be doing. Hey, make sure you learn the song. I need you to film it. I'll give you instructions in the coming weeks. But for right now, start learning those songs, and we'll see you soon. Can't wait to do it, and Merry Christmas.